Director of National Intelligence released a report yesterday showing the number of reported UFO sightings has gone up in recent years. The Pentagon has now collected 510 reports of unidentified flying objects, many of which are flying in sensitive military airspace. And while there is no evidence of extraterrestrials, they still pose a threat. So let's bring in Brett Tingley to dig deeper into all of this. He's an editor at space.com. So what stood out to you in this report?
What stood out to me is that while many of these reports cannot be characterized, that is, they cannot be defined, some of them still appear to display flight characteristics that are really advanced, really beyond what our aircraft can do. Unfortunately, in many of these uncharacterized reports, there's not enough detailed data to really make a determination of what these unidentified objects might be.
So is that, when we say there are nearly 200 sightings that remain uncharacterized, was that the primary reason? Because there just isn't enough information, you can't see them well? Or is it really like, you know, here's a list of the things that we know and that are in the sky, and these are not them?
Well, you know, it's important to remember that many of these sightings happen in just a fraction of a second or a few seconds. You have aviators who have so many different things on their mind when they're operating these multi-million-dollar aircraft. Their sensors pick up something strange. They zoom by it in a matter of a second or two, and that's all they got. The report mentions that in many of these incidents, we kind of depend on the accurate recollection of these aviators to remember exactly what they saw up there in the sky. And so a lot of times, you know, we have just an incomplete picture of what they saw. A few hundred of these reports were found to be airborne clutter, things like birds or even shopping bags up in the sky. Over 100 were found to be balloons. So in many cases, these are pretty benign, pretty normal objects up there in the sky. But, you know, these advanced military sensors are detecting them. And now we have a formalized procedure for aviators to file reports when they do see something they can't identify.
So then explain the growing concern, as you point out, over airspace safety highlighted in this report.
Right. Well, you know, even something like a plastic bag, if it's up in the sky, if it gets sucked into the jet engine of, say, an F-18, it can cause a lot of damage. We've seen a wide proliferation of drones, even off-the-shelf drones in recent years that have wound up in sensitive airspace near nuclear power facilities, near military facilities. And something like a drone can certainly do a lot of damage if it happens to have a mid-air collision with an aircraft. So one of the big conclusions of this report is that the skies are just getting cluttered with stuff. And as sensors and cameras on aircraft become more advanced, they're seeing a lot more of this stuff up in the air, and we need a process for aviators to be able to file reports when they see them.
Yeah, I was actually surprised at how few of these sightings were drones. Because it just seems like everyone's got a drone nowadays, and they're taking pictures of their vacations and stuff like that. So this report was delayed. Do we know why?
Oh, we don't. You know, there's been a lot of speculation about why it has been delayed. One of the most common conclusions I've seen is that it was just bureaucratic inertia. Things in the federal government move slow. This report was supposed to be filed in October, but of course in November we had midterm elections. We saw with the vote to confirm the Speaker of the House how slow the government and Congress can be sometimes. So there's no big reason that has been given why it was delayed, other than, you know, the federal government sometimes has delays, especially when it comes to, you know, policy like this report. This report was mandated by last year's National Defense Authorization Act. And so now the Office of the Director of National Intelligence is required to file an annual report with Congress. And, you know, unfortunately, a lot of things just move slow through the halls of Congress.
So you can't do that when you're talking about UFOs. Because in that space, in the gaps, I'm pretty sure if I get on Reddit right now, there's somebody who's got like a full explanation. Right. Yeah, you know, the conspiracy theorists operate in the gaps. So you can't dilly-dally on that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Brett Tingley, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Shalom. I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and elders who are at Millstone. Much respect to the brothers laboring worldwide in truth and sincerity. And salutations and blessings to the hopeful elect, believing on the words of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. It's your brother Draweth, coming at you with another lesson. Lord willing is edifying. And as we've seen in the video, all right, these so-called UFOs, these so-called UAPs, which are the chariots of the Lord, their sightings are increasing, all right? And the reason why their sightings are increasing because the Lord is drawing near to the world, man. Matter of fact, let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra. The Lord is drawing near. The signs are speaking. All right, everything is being showed forth. We're at the end. What is that? Habakkuk chapter 2 says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Well, that's where we are at, the end of Esau's rulership. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 18. It says, and it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh, and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. And one of the visitations of Yahawashi are the chariots. All right. And it's showing forth now more than ever where these people are in fear. All right. You heard the lady mention so-called conspiracy theories, right? That should be a buzzword because these people know what we're saying is the truth. All right. And they're trying to keep the people dumbed down. All right. For them not to accept these things. Okay. Verse 19, it says, and will begin to make inquisition of them. Yeah, inquisition, prolonged, intense questioning. What they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. See? So the affliction of Zion, all right, is being fulfilled. All right? And another indicator that we're at the end of this thing. This is Psalms chapter 68 and verse 17. It reads, the chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. Right. So the chariots of Yahawashi are 20,000, even thousands of angels. All right. That's what we're seeing in the heavens. I seen a report the other day where NASA actually filmed a chariot, all right, by the sun. Okay. And these people don't know what's going on. All right. That's why they haven't released this report in a timely fashion. All right. Because they're in fear. Okay. Luke chapter 21 starting at verse 25. See the return of Hamashiach. Right. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun. See that? And in the moon, and in the stars, and upon earth the stress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Right. So we're seeing signs in the sun and the moon. All right. Your blood moons, your eclipse. All right. Signs in the stars. All right. More importantly, all right, the chariots that now they're compelled, they're compelled to bring out this information. Why? Because it's so many chariots are showing up. All right. And these people are in fear. Okay. It says, upon earth, the stress of nations. You got Peru still rioting. All right. You got riots in certain places in Africa. All right. Protesters. All right. So these things are going to increase upon the planet Earth the closer we get near to the return of our Lord Yahawashi. It says with perplexity. Yeah, that word perplexity goes into lack of resources. All right. That root word. Okay. Where you people are going to be embarrassed. You're going to be ashamed. Why? Because you trusted in Esau. It says the sea and the waves roaring. Yeah. Another metaphor or a dark saying for the people being in an uproar. All right. Men's hearts failing them for fear for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. What they're going to be shaken with? Those ICBM missiles. All right? They're going to be looking after those things that's coming upon the earth, man. Those chariots. All right? The army of Yahawashi. It says, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Yeah, the scriptures tell us that the Lord is returning the same way he left. Real quick. Let's get that in X. And we'll go back. X 1 and 9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. Now you had these wacky take Christians. He would have been a white cloud. No, man. He would have been a chariot. All right. The Lord was basically beamed up. Okay. And that's what we're looking to be, beamed up. All right. That's the only way out of this destruction. All right. There's no airplane. Okay. There's no helicopter, no drone that's going to save you from the destruction that's set to come. It has to be an aerial escape by the way of the chariots. All right. So the same way the Lord left is the same way he's coming back. That's why we read here. It says, and then shall they see the Son of Man, who is that? Yahawashi, coming in a cloud with power and great glory. He's returning the chariot, man. Right? And when these things begin to come to pass, look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. See? All right, the Lord is closely approaching this place. All right, he's getting ready to take Esau out of power and to save his elect, man. Right? This is Revelation chapter 11 and verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. See that? And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Who is this is ascending up to heaven in the cloud? It's the elect. Okay? And the same hour, there was a great earthquake. What's going to cause that great earthquake? Well, those ICBM missiles hitting this place. 200,000, 200 million. All right? And the 10th part of the city fell. We often go into this. All right, America is divided up in 10 FEMA zones, all with Roman numerals, right? And America has 10 zip codes, man, ranging from 0 to 9. You see? It says, and in the earthquake were slain men 7,000. 7,000 mean a complete number of men. All right? And the remnant were afraid and gave glory to the power of heaven. See that? Why? Because they're going to scarcely be saved. All right? That's how scary that moment going to be, man. All right? The elect is going to be in the midst of danger. All right? Looking to be delivered by Yahawashi. Okay? So, this thing is acting crazy. Let's do this. Oh yeah. Hey, Revelation twice. And that's Esau. I know I had a whole nother precept. Salakia. Let's go to the book of Matthew. And we'll close out here. It ain't got to be a long exhaustive lesson. Alright, because the prophecies are speaking. Everything is being shown forth. Matthew chapter 24, starting at verse 29. The glorious return. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, it's going to be all hell broke loose, man. Esau going to be coming down with great wrath. World War III is going to be in full effect. All right, that charagma is going to be implemented already. All right. Hey, great tribulation. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven. What are those stars? It's a dark saying. All right. a grave sentence for those missiles. And the powers of heaven shall be shaken, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. Why? Because they think it's UFOs, man. They don't realize it's an angelic power. All right? They don't realize it's Yahawashi coming back to set things in order. It says, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. See? So when the destruction comes, the elect is going to be beamed up in those chairs, man. The elect is going to be saved out of danger. Matter of fact, let's get one more, and we'll close it out. It says Revelation 15. All right, the vision that John the Revelator, as the scholars coin him, all right, seen. Okay, he was standing on a firmament. All right, basically, he was saved, man. He was lifted up in one of those chairs. Okay, Revelations 15:1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of the Most High. Yeah, those 7 last plagues are those ICBM missiles. Right? What is that? This is the plague. All right, what is that? Zechariah 14. Okay? It says, and I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire. Yeah, the lake of fire. All right? And them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name. Yeah, all those things, where the system is set up, not taking their thing, all right? Not loving their lives unto the death, all right? They had gotten the victory. That's the elect. And over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High. So they were, basically, John seen the elect, all right, standing in a chair looking down on the destruction, man. Okay? That's something we are looking forward to. All right? So I pray this has been edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Lord willing, coming at you with another lesson. Till the next time, I say shalom.